And turning now to the Trump presidency, President Trump is in South Florida to address drug trafficking, Venezuelan concerns, and to fundraise, but not to address the alarming spike in COVID-19 cases in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. Margaret Brennan, Moderator, Face the Nation, joining us now. So, Margaret, there is a mandate to wear masks here in Miami-Dade. The president did not when he touched down. What's the latest in mask messaging from the White House?
Well, it is a reversal of their previous messages. As you say, the president didn't wear one when he got off Air Force One, but you do have health officials, including the Surgeon General, who will be with us on Sunday, really pushing hard for the message to be received that you need to wear a mask to be able to try to contain spread. What you are seeing now in many of the states in the West and in the South is a repeat of what we went through on the East Coast, particularly New York, in the spring. And you now have the administration really trying to change course in their messaging and urge states to adopt mask wearing and adopt some more stringent conditions. Now, there's some tension between health officials and local officials. We'll talk about that with the mayor of Phoenix on Sunday, just as we did with your mayor of Miami-Dade last Sunday, who made clear that there are some real problems with hospitalizations in your area.
Yeah, Margaret, Florida reporting another 11,000 new COVID-19 cases today. It's among 40 states where the cases are up. What are the biggest challenges that hotspot areas like Florida are facing?
Well, we want to put that question to Advent Health's CEO, who will also be joining us. This is one of the largest hospital chain operators in the country, certainly in Florida, where they are headquartered, to talk about what is actually needed inside the hospitals right now. This feels a lot like deja vu. About conversations that we had with hospital administrators in New York area who were talking to us about the problem not being beds, the problem being medical personnel. What is needed right now, and where do federal and state resources need to be surged? That is what we're hoping to learn, because what we are hearing from local officials, like the mayor of Phoenix, is that right now demand is outstripping supply. There are long wait lines to get tests. If you can get a test, long delays in getting results, sometimes more than 5 days. So those are dangerous when it comes to trying to contain the spread. We want to talk about some of these issues. Texas, I also want to highlight to you the senators of Texas pressing for field hospitals to be set up, asking the federal government to surge resources to that state to do that. So this is something that we are talking to Dr. Scott Gottlieb about each Sunday. What he warned us was going to happen is happening now. We'll talk to him Sunday about what to prepare for next.
And also, despite the spike in cases, Florida's Education Commissioner signs an executive order that all schools here must reopen their campuses in August. What is the federal government saying about how practical or impractical this might be, Margaret?
Well, the message from the federal government is go ahead and reopen. But as you know, and as we've been told throughout this pandemic, it's really up to state and local officials to make the call. It's really up to parents to make the call on whether they feel safe sending their children into that environment. And that's the conversation we are going to have. The president says go ahead and do it. It is certainly very important for parents who want to be able to return to work to have a place to send their children. But how do you do it safely, and how can states afford to do this? States that are already asking for federal money that Congress hasn't allocated yet. We will have a conversation in Washington about what Congress needs to do next. Expect that in the coming weeks, because not all states have the capacity to be able to do what the health guidelines suggest they do, with keeping desks at least 6 feet away. And so we will talk about this. This is groundwork that needs to be laid, because school year is creeping up fast.
You're right. It's getting very close. Lots to talk about. Thank you, Margaret Brennan. We appreciate your time. And, of course, join Margaret for Face the Nation Sunday morning at 10:30 here on CBS 4.